my name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today we're going to learn the ancient resource gathering game, Rise of Tribes. This 2 to 4 player game designed by Brad Brooks and published by Breaking Games. In ancient prehistoric times, you wander about searching for food and other things to build the necessities you need to survive in these harsh environments. However, you have rival tribes trying to take the same resources as you and even kill off your own tribe to the point of extinction. Will you succeed in survival, or will you go extinct and never be heard from again? Find out as we go to the table and learn how to play Rise of Tribes. Take several lake, forest, and mountain hex-shaped terrain tiles equal to the number of players plus 1. Each type of terrain. For example, if you have 2 players, take 3 of each type, as I have done. Find the volcano hex-shaped terrain tile and set it aside. Return all other tiles to the box. Lay the terrain tiles face up randomly in the configuration in the rulebook based on the number of players. So this is the 2-player setup for that board. Players take 20 tribe members and 1 score marker of their color, as well as a 15 shuffled deck. So for example, me and Jordan will be the red and the blue. So Jordan will be the blue and I'll be the red, and I'll take her blue deck and I'll place it in her gold deck, and I will do the same with my red deck. Each of 4 complete decks has a different back design, but is otherwise identical in a 2-player game. Remove the pottery card. So just as I said a couple minutes ago, here's the pottery cards, and we're going to set those off to the side. Each player randomly chooses one of the 8-player boards and places it in front of them. So Jordan's going to be the Tunga tribe, and I'm going to be the Kaha tribe. Please forgive me if I did butcher those names. One side of the board has order of play, so that's here, and the other features your tribal leader, so that's these 2 right here. For a basic game, each player may use either side, but for that we're just going to use the side that tells everything. Place resource tokens and village event tokens nearby. I'll place my village event tokens right here, and the resource tokens are right here in little glass bowls for easy access. Set aside the chieftain and abandoned village event cards near the action board. Shuffle the remaining 14 event tiles and place them in a deck above the action board. Place everyone's score markers on the 0 space, which is right where this red token is, of the action board. Place 3 dice on each of the 4 actions. The remaining 2 dice will be rolled on the first turn. To determine the starting player, players randomly select villages, each marked with a number. The lowest number goes first, and that village is placed on top of the 2 set-aside event tiles. Return all other villages to their pile. So as you can see on the backs of these, there's little numbers. So let's say I picked the 4 and Jordan picked the 8. So I get to go first, and I'll place that on the event tiles. The starting player places 2 of their tribe members on a single tile of their choice. So I would take my 2 warriors and place them here. The second player takes 3 tribe members and places them on a tile of their choice. The third player, if there is one, would take 3 tribe members as well in 1 occupied hex and collect 2 resources of their choice. So you wouldn't have to collect from the hex you chose. And if you're playing a 4-player game, 3 tribe members spread across 2 unoccupied adjacent hexes and collect 2 resources of their choice. Play then begins with the starting player. Note: Elders, leader cards, and special terrain tiles are used in the advanced rules. Check your rule book in page 10 to 13 for more details, and I'll let you discover those for yourself. And that completes the setup. You're now ready to begin the hunt. Each player takes their turn going through the 5 steps, trying to score 15 points before the other tribes. Once a player reaches 15, they win immediately. At the beginning of each turn, the player scores 1 point for every village they have. Initially, players do not have villages, but their tribe may build them through the course of the game, but we'll talk about that later on. If doubles are rolled, 2 suns, moons, or blanks, an event is triggered. So, and you can find which event it's talking about down on your board over here. So this tells you what happens when 2 moons are rolled, this happens when 2 suns, and so forth. But we'll talk about the event itself later on. The action board depicts 4 actions that players can perform on their turn: grow, move, gather, and lead. The player will take 2 actions on their turn, and each action must be different. To select an action, the player places one of their rolled dice results on to the board at the top of the actions column. Each action is resolved entirely before the next die is placed. To grow, add the number of tribe members indicated by the action board from your supply to 1 or more hexes that already contain tribe members. So take that, we'll move it down, and therefore we get to play 4 tribe members on a hex we already control. Move up to the number of tribe members indicated by the action board from 1 hex to any adjacent hex. So we'll take that, move it down, move these over, then we'll move 2 to here. Important: a single tribe member can only be moved once in a turn and has a base movement of 1 hex per move. To gather, you obtain resources from the hexes you occupy as specified on the action board here. Forests produce wood, lakes produce food, and mountains produce stone. So if we were to use the gather action, I rolled a sun, I'd move it down, put that down there, and I would gather 2 of any resources from 3 hexes. I can only do 2, but that means I can only do 2 because I only have 2, but I'll just say, for example, I have it all in all 3. So I'll take 2 stone, 2 food, and 2 wood. Then I take my tribe card and I place my food right there. To lead means that you would draw a number of gold cards as indicated on the actions board from the top of your gold deck and put these in progress on the left side of your player board. Your gold deck contains developments, which are the color blue, and achievements, which are the color brown. You may discard as many unfulfilled gold cards as you have villages before drawing. Discard cards are put at the bottom of the gold deck, and the same number of cards are drawn from the top of your deck, in addition to the cards indicated by the lead action. So let's just say there's a blank here. Move that down. So first I can discard this card because it doesn't look like I'm going to get the majority in lakes. And then I just draw back up to 2 cards. And I'll put them in my in progress side of the board, which is over here. Add your die to the first dice lot of an action, pushing all the other dice along the track, and I demonstrated how that looks, to the right. The rightmost die is then pushed down and becomes one of the dice that will be rolled next turn. The dice results on the action now determines the power of the action chosen. All actions have a default benefit listed directly below the action name. This is the power of the action unless a certain set of symbols are present. If you see at least 2 moon symbols on the dice, any combination, then this is a low point for civilization. Don't worry, your tribe still claims a reward. If you see at least 2 suns symbols on the dice in any combination, then civilization is booming. You claim the highest reward for this action. Population limit of each hex is 5 tribe members. Conflict occurs in every hex that has more than 5 tribe members, regardless of color. Immediately after the current player has resolved both their actions that there is, if there is no conflict, go to step 5, which would be build villages and complete goals. Multiple hexes in conflict are resolved in current player's preferred order. Villages don't count towards the hex limit, only tribe members. The current player is offense and the other players are the defense, acting simultaneously. Each player removes one of their tribe members. So, the result may be no tribe members. So let's say this is the hex that's in war right now, so we remove simultaneously one of mine and one of Jordan's, and then one of mine and one of Jordan's. Well, that one ended where I'm victorious. However, there could be one where we do the same thing, and we remove this, and nobody wins. But that's only if players have matching numbers. If a conflict occurs in a hex with only one player's members, the conflict still occurs, and the player removes their tribe members until the population limit is 5 or lower, depending on how it goes. If the current player has completed the bow development card, they remove one defending tribe member of their choice hex before continuing the conflict resolution. If the defending player has acquired the walls event tile and has a village in this hex, they remove one tribe member from the offensive before continuing with the conflict resolution. If this takes the total number of tribe members down to 5, it does not stop conflict resolution. Bow development can't be used by defending players. After a conflict has been resolved in a hex, if there remains a village with none of its tribe members present, the village is removed. So, like I said, we were at war here, nobody survived, so this gets removed. Goal cards are made up of development and achievements. Players may complete any number of goal cards and score for each one during this step. Goals in progress are kept face up to the left side, which is over here, of the player board, as I showed you previously, and then move over to the right side when completed. Once completed, points gained cannot be lost, and any abilities granted are for the rest of the game. So I had already completed the bow and the basket, which would give me a total of 2 points on the track. Developments cost resources and reward the player with the action enhancements and victory points. Achievements are triggered by circumstances in the game, aka, occupation of hexes, and reward 2 to 4 victory points as indicated on the card. Players are not required to complete a goal card even if they have met the condition. The following goal card terms explain the player's positional status at any given hex. Occupation, at least one other player's tribe members are on the hex. Majority, player's tribe members outnumber the total tribe members of all opponents on the hex. Control, only the player's tribe members are present on the hex. At the end of their turn, players may build any number of villages by spending the indicated resources on their tribe card and placing a village on a hex in their tribe members and no other village. When the first village of the game is built, players take this village. So, for example, the requirements to build a village for this specific tribe is you need to get 3 food, 2 stone, and 1 wood. So if I got my 3rd food from gathering, then I can take the 3 food, the 2 stone, and the 1 wood. I can put them back in the little, place this down. I'll take this village and I'll build it right there. And then I take my chieftain and abandoned village and I shuffle them into the event deck. If at any point a player has no tribe members in the same hex as one of their villages, so they're gone, the village is destroyed. Each village awards 1 victory point to the player at the start of their turn. So let's say Jordan got a village, so she would get 1 point at the start of her turn. Also, when taking lead, a player may discard 1 in-progress gold card for each village they have. So, since Jordan has a village, let's say she doesn't feel like she could get the majority in mountains. So what she can do is she can just discard that, put it at the bottom of her deck, and just move on with her turn. And then when discarding, the player returns the gold card to the bottom of their deck, as I showed, and then draws the same number of cards from the top of the deck. So then she'd take her gold deck, draw a new one. She got basketry, so she'd place it in her in progress, in addition to the cards drawn due to the lead action. So if she also was doing lead, she would draw 2, 1, or 3 cards along with that. If a player rolls the same result, 2 suns, 2 moons, or 2 blanks on both dice, they trigger an event. First, resolve any effects at the bottom of the active event tiles. So there currently is none, but that would be when we got 2 blanks. Let's just say that we have 2 blanks. This may update or remove events from play. Some events are use resources, add to or remove from the tile to indicate the condition is met. Then if there is an open event spot, the player draws the top tile from the event deck and follows the instructions. So it's the chieftain card, which would mean in turn order, players may bid resources or drop out. Players must bid higher than previous bid. If the final bid is 5 or more resources, that player wins 2 victory points. Otherwise, 1 victory point. Losing bids are returned. Winning player must distribute their bid amongst other players. So we'll place that there. And if we won, then we get this chieftain token right here. After triggering an event and following its directions, the player continues with their turn. When completely resolved, event tiles are removed from their active side into the event discard pile. If the player is eliminated, all tribe members removed from their terrain tiles, they start their next turn by placing 2 tribe members on a hex of their choice, unoccupied if possible. So let's say I got wiped out. I then can take 2 tribe members and place them on any tile of my choice. As soon as a player has reached 15 victory points, they have immediately won the game. There are no additional turns. It is up to you to take your tribe to 15 points first. And that's all you need to know to play Rise of Tribes. If you have any questions about this game, please put them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this channel. Ring the notification bell to be notified when we release a new video. We release one every Monday, so be sure you're in the know for that. I'd like to thank my current Patreon supporters. Your help makes all these videos possible. If you want to become a Patreon supporter yourself because you're really enjoying this channel, there's a link to that in the description below that I will leave down there. Be on the lookout for our upcoming gameplay video on Rise of Tribes. But until then, thanks for the views.